So hi guys, back out with the Mavic Mini this morning, and ended up doing a bit of volunteer work for the National Trust at the same time. So basically, learning how to fool the light meter, basically, because you have no control over the camera when shooting video. As you can see there, the left-hand side into the sky is where the sun is, so basically it's blowing out. And the light meter's basically reading the front of the castle, so its exposure is all over the place. But you can get around that a little bit, and I'm going to show you how. By the way, you can't actually fly at Bodiam Castle without permission, and I was there this morning working, basically, taking some photos for the National Trust, and also ended up doing a quick tower top mini survey as such, just looking at the roofs for them, just so they could see if they're all okay, kind of thing. Anyway, so you've got the AEL lock on it, or AE lock on the drone. So when you're videoing, so the simplest thing you need to do is work out where the brightest part of the sky is and where the darkest part of your image is, and sort of try and go in between. So at the moment it's just on auto. As you can see, I'm moving around, and you'll see it change, the exposure change, as I move around and just look around. So as you see, as I stick up in the sky, obviously the exposure's now changed, but look how nice the ground looks now, because the sunlight was really lovely, and it's quite nicely diffused. And basically what I've done now, I've locked the light meter, so as you can see now how different the castle looks, but it's a little bit bright. So what I've just done is retaken the sky, the reading from the sky there, and actually it's given it a really nice look. And as you can see, it doesn't change. So you can get around it a little bit, but it just really makes a difference. Especially, sorry, I've got a polarizing filter on as well, which obviously helps with reflections and the giving you a nice blue sky and things like that. So, but that's kind of the easiest way of getting around it. It's very simple. You've just got to kind of go in between. You've got to go for the brightest, just find the sort of average, and then just lock it. And it kind of works quite well. And that's the kind of results you get. Hopefully at some point they'll send an update, and we'll be able to actually obviously adjust the shutter speed and everything via the app itself as we're shooting as such. But as you can see, it looks so much more controlled, and it's quite pleasing actually. I'm quite impressed with it. Shooting at 2.7K. And it's just works. It's really smooth. The only problem I did have this morning was a little bit of lagginess on the video stream. So basically the stream coming from the drone to my controller to my phone, so you could actually see it was a little bit juddery every now and again, which was annoying. So I don't really know what's going on there. But yeah, here's another thing. I've locked the light meter on the castle. So it just gives you a nice, good exposure over the whole image. Obviously, with the other side, the previous shot, I was actually shooting kind of from shade into sunlight, with the sun to the left. This is the sun behind me, and it obviously gives you a completely different look. You could still mess around and actually shoot it. Obviously, turn the camera around and AL lock it into the brighter light, and then turn the camera around and actually start recording again. But I just thought I'd give it a different look. And I'm utilising this tree as a bit of foreground, detail. It just gives you the distance between the castle. I thought that worked quite well. I'm still learning. I haven't flown for years, and probably about 5 years ago, I suppose, I had the drone up on the castle there, doing looking at their roof. There was one of the towers there looked a bit suspect, so they got me to put the drone up then and actually have a look for them. And so I went inside the castle and took off and put it up on top of the on the towers here, and just had a look around. So basically just having a quick nose to see if there was any loose rocks or loose stones or anything that might look not right. Obviously it's not for me to make a decision, but at least they can see it very easily. It's literally it just takes 2 minutes, and that's all I need is up there, just to fly around and have a little look there, as you can see. Also you can see if, like, I presume that's some kind of coating on the roof part there that obviously looks intact and everything. So, but nothing looks out of place. So simple, really. These tools have a very good use if you can use them well, and I'm still getting used to it, and it's still a little bit nervous flying them, but getting there. Probably flew the highest I've flown yet. But you can just utilising it for things like this is good. But obviously I'm not making any money from this at all. It was not a paid job or anything like that, so obviously it's a different situation. But as you can see there, the moss and everything growing along the top of the walls there. But for example, if they had to put up some scaffolding, it would cost them thousands. So just a 2-minute quick look. And by the way, the castle wasn't even open at all for another hour or so, so there was no members of public. There was no staff there either. They were all in the offices working, apart from one of the groundsmen there. So I just flew around and had a quick look to see what was what. But just had a little play, just a little experimentation. Lost all satellites, so it was just using the ground as information with these little sensors facing down. But then obviously when I flew away from the walls a bit, it actually regained satellites again, to make sure it had a pinpoint situation. But absolutely fine. It was fine to fly. Just like I say, it was a little bit laggy between the video feed, which was a bit annoying, because when you sort of moved left or right, it suddenly juddered, and you had to wait for it to catch up. And I don't know why it was doing that, but hopefully that was just something silly, and it will rectify itself shortly. Maybe with an update, if they find out it's actually happening more often, I don't know. So if you have a Mavic Mini, you've sort of seen the similar situation where you don't lose signal as such, it just sort of freezes very slightly. And that was on an iPhone 11 Pro, so one of the newest phones, most powerful phones out there, and it shouldn't struggle or anything like that. So I don't think it's the phone. But you can see there, just having a look across the top of the walls, make sure nothing looks too loose or anything like that. So worked quite well. As I say, very short trip. I was there, wandered around with the camera for an hour or so, and then just put the drone up for 5 or 6 minutes, just to just have a look like this for them, so they could actually just make sure everything's all right, and go from there, really. But other than that, it was a lovely morning. -2 degrees Celsius, so very fresh. A little bit of frost, a little bit of mist, and like the low-lying stuff. But yeah, so hopefully some more nice sunny weather coming soon. Just going to get the drone back out. I want to go down the beach a bit more. Some sunrises, sunsets, stuff like that always looks nice. The reflections of the water, things like that. So just to make sure you remember, you can't fly on National Trust property without permission, obviously if they do catch you, obviously things might happen. You might get prosecuted or something, but so it's not worth it. Obviously I was doing some volunteer work for them, so obviously I had some permission there to do it. So just remember that, and obviously just remember that obviously if you've got, this place gets very busy, and if there's thousands of people there, or even lots of people there, members of staff flying around, you don't really want to hit anybody with your drone. So you just got to be a little bit mindful of things. But this is a sort of 9 o'clock in the morning. They don't open till I think it's 10:30 or 11 anyway. So no public members of public around, or anybody like that. So just a few members of staff. But other than that, have a good one. So don't forget to subscribe. Please click the notification bell. And any questions about the Mavic or any of my cameras that I use, check out my other videos as well. And make sure you click the notification bell. And I shall see you soon.